Hello and welcome back, Legends. Torp777, thank you for following. I hope you enjoyed the little halftime show. We return to the party, entering this chamber with the 4 statues on each side, and overhanging on their entrance, a spider crystalline like they'd seen before.
Flutter is going to and it's going to go on top of the crystal spider and like hook onto it.
Okay. Everyone else?
I'm gonna search for writing.
Reading on the altar that sits in the center of this room that all of these figures seem to be pointing at, it says, "Show a triumph and the way will open."
Show a triumph and the way will open.
I'll start walking around carefully. At each statue.
Coming to the closest one, the knightly statue, adorned in plate armor, at least what you can tell from the ice sculpture that it is. The shield itself shows the expression of a weeping human.
Huh.
It's intricately designed, though. A metal heater-shaped shield.
Could I approach one of the other statues? Go towards the barbarian, just for old time's sake.
With the barbarian at the furthest end of the room, it has its muscles flexed and fist clenched, and within that ring is the shape of a ram's head with these massive curled ram horns. He's charged as if he's ready to rush forward.
I guess I'll look at the alchemist.
Looking at the person with the potion, they have very clerical robes, delicate fabric that it's almost impressive how the crystal sculpture has such a thin veil for the fabric that's used, so intricately designed. The potion appears to be a health potion, a very, very powerful health potion.
And I will go up to the wizard and look at it and see how easy it swivels.
The actually swiveling the base, it does, after some effort, kind of you change the direction that it's pointed, and then you shift it again, you change where it's pointed again. The wizard itself, these decorative, elaborate wizard robes, you see this focused face as if he's ready to cast a powerful spell while holding this pearl within his fingertips.
I think it's taking note of the rotating of the actual statue. The direction that the one I'm standing at, the alchemist, the cleric, yeah, is he pointing at he's pointing at the center, but who's technically through the center on the other side? Or who's the person
they're
pointing
staggered enough
to?
that pointing at the center doesn't point at any of them specifically. You feel it slightly inset at the center as if that's the neutral base. Where would you like to point him?
Grom would try to shift him to point towards the guy with the shield.
Pointing just slightly left to point him at the one in the shield. You feel it kind of as it's inset slightly, that same kind of click where the neutral position is. There's that click of where it is now pointing at one of the other characters. It's pointing at the knightly figure.
This might help you. The fingers, are they all the same level or are they different levels?
They're all pointed at the same level. They're just pointing forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just pointing straight forward, 90 degrees forward. Okay.
Had to check.
I mean, Karan would probably just make a comment and be like, he looks like he could use healing the most.
Wilson, how is the spider held up above the door frame there? Is it
It looks like there's this perch where it's somewhat perched over this landing that it has over top of the door. It's kind of like on this archway. Behind it is this sealed stone slab, 2 on each side with this crack in the middle. But it's almost climbing on the wall, almost vertical, like poised to strike at the party ahead of it.
Would it, you could just be up front, would it be possible to climb up to where the spider is and kind of knock it off of the wall? Get it down onto the ground?
You can try. To what end?
My thought process is if the barbarian needs to charge and hit it, it's not going to be able to hit it unless it's on the ground. Kind of thing.
Okay. Okay, roll a acrobatics check.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet. Cole's still
Okay.
seeing what the rest of the party is doing. I was curious if it was even possible.
Cool. Can you point yours at that spider, the one that you were looking at? Can you actually rotate it that far? Like mine,
but
yeah,
it's high up. I don't know if it could aim it in the direction of it, but it's not going to aim up at it.
I just want to see if it sets in. When I moved mine to point at the one over there that Rowan's standing by, it kind of set in the place. I
Okay.
could feel it.
Cole would start to turn the barbarian.
As you start to turn the barbarian, it crosses first over across the wizard figure, across from the knightly figure, and it clicks a little bit. As you continue to turn, it turns over towards the spider and clicks there as well. Is that where you would like to stop it?
That's where I'd like to stop it.
Briar, what spells?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Whoever's furthest, deepest into the room.
Briar,
It'd
I
probably
think
be me. Well,
Okay, go ahead and roll
you're
perception.
closest to the, because right.
you said that the
Isn't-
barbarian was the furthest
Oh, the
away.
barbarian.
Yeah, it's the furthest,
and
yeah.
the-
Oh,
Closest to
sorry.
the other door,
Right.
yeah.
so would that be?
Yep, go ahead, roll perception.
Briar, what spells use a pearl?
21.
A few.
Do you still have your detect magic up as well, by the way?
That would have.
It would have gone away with your concentration,
Well, but then my concentration on Fairy Fire only lasted a minute, so I guess I'll pop another detect magic with this room.
yeah. Okay. With pumping a detect magic, each of the items that the figures are holding are magical.
All of their items are of magic.
Cole, what's your perception?
21.
Looking around, you see the again much of what everyone else has seen as far as the designs on each of the items, the ram head on the ring of the barbarian poised to rush, the door itself, the entrance to the next chamber has a bit of a crack that in the brick where the some of the brick has almost been smashed in a little bit.
Okay. Can Cool start, just out of curiosity, continue to turn the barbarian and see if there is a locking mechanism for
Turn it
facing
left
the
or
door?
right towards the
Facing the next door. So he's thinking the barbarian's going to charge into
Okay.
the door.
Yeah, turning it back, it clicks out of the spider, turns left, clicks at the wizard, clicks at the altar in the center, turning it further, it clicks at the cleric, turning it further, it clicks at the door.
Cool is going to stop there and look at the rest of the party.
With the crack in the door and the ring that he has of a ram's head charging, makes the most sense that he was trying to break down the door.
So you're thinking that it's trying to escape rather than engage.
That or move forward. You see as Murdoch kind of like paces back and forth, kind of like excitedly, like pondering it himself.
So Knight is fighting the spider. Cleric is healing the Knight. Wizard is detecting the altar. And Barbarian is breaking the door.
I mean, it's certainly, if that was the goals, to try to engage long enough to move on, it seems like the most logical setup.
Yeah. Sounds like something Ron's gonna look at the night I would do.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We get it wrong when we have to fight the spider? You've already fought 3. What's another one?
Is that
Do
how
we
you
want
would
to
like
look
to
for
turn
magical
each of them?
tracks? Let's go ahead and set them up in that way. Yeah, we'll go ahead and set
Well-
them up, but not finalize it yet.
Why would the wizard focus the pearl on the altar?
Well,
Identify.
Imagining he is casting Identify
Who
onto
is
the altar.
investigating the pearl?
Me.
Investigating the pearl, it's not a normal pearl. It's pearl size, but it's white and clear. It's got an effervescence to it, but there's frozen bubbles within it. It's not a normal pearl.
Frozen bubbles.
Holston, can I make another perception check on the room itself, maybe for like drainage or some sort of somewhere for something to pour into the room?
With your passive perception, there's nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Okay.
I would like to look more closely at each of the statues for a little bit more detail, if possible. If there's any detail we're overlooking.
Nothing really that you've overlooked. It seems that it's an exquisite health potion that the cleric is holding, normal item. Each of the items actually are a normal item, a normal magic item as detected by Asher. Yep. Other than that, they are the essential symbols of their class, proper class.
Can I do
Does
any
this-
kind of investigation? Sorry, go ahead.
Does the spider move?
The
Is there
spider is
any
not
rotation
moving.
on the spider? Okay.
It doesn't have
so
the
where is
same. It doesn't have the same like circular base.
Where is it facing?
It's facing the
What
party towards the
specific-
center of the room, like as if it's poised to strike the party, and that's who they're like
What
running
a
from. And
particular statue is. What is facing the spider right now? Like
nothing is until you make
if-
it. What would you like to make facing the spider? Everything was facing the center. You've moved so far. The barbarian facing the wall, the cleric facing the knight. Nothing else has been moved.
The spider's technically facing the center, if anything.
It's just
Like,
facing the party. Yeah, it's like it's facing them. Yeah, in general.
Could I try an investigation on the actual pillar with the button itself? See if maybe there's any sort of hints or
Like
anything
dice or
of that
something.
sorts.
Just passively, you see that it is this like big, kind of bulky, unwieldy stone button. You get the impression that it could be something that could be pressed, but then you see the text that you're unable to discern, which Briar earlier told you said show a triumph and the way will open.
Okay.
I'm gonna put
Also,
the
aside from that, which I forgot to get to, there is various little treasures, gold and gems and stuff that the diggers and stuff have immediately gone to harvesting, essentially.
So they're already taking stuff off the walls. Like,
Yeah, that's essentially.
Kind of retconning a little bit of that. You said gems. Is there any gems that match the one in my spear? By curiosity, just
Negative.
quick glance.
No, just normal.
Okay.
Doesn't appear to be any magic gems, just gems of value.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna rotate the knight to face the spider.
It clicks away from the altar, clicks at the wizard across from him, and then clicks, shield facing, finger pointing ahead. Clicks at the spider.
Probably gonna mention to the diggers. It's probably not taking anything out of this room, yeah? Not yet.
Murdoch kind of
You got-
shuffles in place. Yeah, I think it'll be all right. He motions for the diggers. Some of them already go ahead and take the treasures.
I don't know if that stuff is magical, so
I'm wondering, because okay, like there's the button, but the button, is it just a button or is it supposed to be an altar? I'm wondering if maybe the wizard was trying to say like break through the ice and bring through like the water. Maybe, I don't know. I'm very unsure about the button.
Looking at the face of you're muted, Seth. Looking at the face of the wizard, it doesn't seem like he's got like a focused like I'm trying to discern something. He has a very aggressive face, as if he's desperately trying to cast some magic.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to Bree, staring at the wizard. What would you do in this scenario?
Well, I would attack the spider because it doesn't make any sense for me to drown us. I would attack the spider.
I think that's the decision that we make then. Caron, the cleric, would heal the knight. Rowan, you, the wizard, would help the knight fight the spider.
I love
That's
this
our better
puzzle.
bet.
I'm sorry, I'll go and say it. I love this puzzle that I've designed.
But what about the crack?
Self-plug.
What about the what?
But what about the crack?
the
Spider?
barbarian's breaking the crack as an
The door.
escape.
The
Yeah.
barbarian is charging to break the crack in the door.
So then I think the wizard would most definitely be helping protect it back and hurt the spider.
We know Dom would be trying to find a way out as best as he could with his brute force.
Yeah, and I would try to protect his back, so she's gonna rotate the wizard towards the spider.
Rotating the wizard, it clicks away from the altar, clicks at the knight, surpassing him, turning left further, clicks towards the spider.
Final
Where do you
answer.
where do you want each thing facing? Currently.
Knight, spider. Cleric, knight. Wizard, spider. Barbarian, door.
Okay.
And there's no skeletons or anything in the ground.
No.
Before we do anything, I'm gonna look at Murdoch, and you might want to get your men out of this for the next.
They immediately Yeah, the other ones start to kind of rush out, and they pile out, get a ways in the hallway, and they kind of sit there. Murdoch kind of, worry. And then he goes down that hallway a little bit as well himself.
Rowan, are you ready? As Asher will pull out his shield and look to Aurelia. I'm guessing who's probably standing next to the button.
I'm gonna put my hands up. I'm gonna look to Bree and Karan, who are right here. Do you think this makes sense?
Yeah, there's logic there. The problem is that there's logic in the others too. We don't have much to go off of, so... Is it a logical guess? Yes. Is it the right one? We'll just have to find out.
I only have two things that I can think of. One attack the spider or one help with the wall. So it's a 50-50 shot for me.
Yeah. I also think Dom, as a barbarian, would be charging the spider and not running away.
Mm-hmm. But
the cracks in the
know.
door.
Cracks of the door could be the opening of the door.
The cracks in the door aren't
It's cracks in the
necessarily a
bricks
threat.
of the door. So there's the crack of the door on the left side of the door. There's like a crack, like almost smashed into the brick of that door.
If you're thinking logically, if he were to charge at the spider is about 10 feet up in the air. He would never hit it. At least this way the door is something that he could hit if he's charging at something.
I don't know if the spider being 10 feet in the air is supposed to be represented. I think it's up there that if it gets triggered, it drops down. Otherwise, it'd be in front of the door. It blocks us in here, and we have to deal with it. That's my interpretation of the spider's position. The only thing that I was thinking of is what the words Briar said. They were, show me a triumph. And attempting to escape isn't necessarily triumphant. That's my... But there's still logic in being diverse. Attack and attempt, but always secure a way out. Guaranteeing that you live to fight another day is a form of a triumph.
Protecting the party in another way.
The dilemma. There's logic in all rounds. It's just which one do we feel we want to chance upon.
I will make a decision for the rest of the party. If you guys feel that the barbarian would fight this spider, I will turn it. But I think that the door makes sense.
I'm not disagreeing with you. The door doesn't make sense.
They both make sense, that's what's the problem. But the rider sense one is the one that we need at this current moment.
Really?
Here's my thought on it. The knight is wounded, one of the biggest hitters in the party. The cleric is healing that knight. The wizard is fighting, but if the wizard gets hit, the wizard goes down. The barbarian is the only big hitter still not wounded. So I would think the barbarian would attack the spider.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of the most present threat, and then move on.
Mm-hmm. And the spell
Murdoch's.
is look where the barbarian's positioned relative to the spider. If it needs to get to the front, it's going to charge towards it.
Could the wizard be trying to gather an escape?
I just have triumph sticking in my head. Why would they write that?
Work together as a team.
Right. I'm gonna have to turn my answer to the spider for the barbarian.
Okay.
The barbarian I knew was always at the front.
Cool would turn the barbarian to the spider.
Clicks through each successive space, then clicks at the spider. have the cleric facing the knight and the wizard facing the spider, correct? And then the barbarian facing the spider as well.
I think
Yeah,
with the
everybody's
rest of
facing the
us-
bar. Everybody's facing the spider, but the cleric. Cleric is
I
at the
think
knight.
with all of us standing by our statues, Asher and Aurelia are the only two that are not by one.
I think you guys do the honors of pressing the button.
Honor is all yours, Aurelia.
No, it's not the person who presses the button's fault. It's the people who decided.
Sure.
Asher
There you
with
go.
that is
Weights that
gonna
on your shoulders.
have more of a protective stance just in case something
Yeah.
comes.
I'm going, if you will allow, Holson, I'm gonna ready a dodge or a disengage.
Okay.
Basically, get the fuck out. If anything drops on me.
I'm going to stand so that if this is weird, but I'm going to stand in the center-ish, close to everyone. But if the spider does drop, it will drop within 10 feet of the rock.
Okay.
So I will be close, but
You press the button.
not that close.
All right, are you saying that you press the button? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I was misinterpreting.
As you put some pressure, there's a strong resistance in the button. You feel it as you press the button down.
Ooh.
All of the figures begin animating. And in a moment, you see, as the barbarian with his fist clench rushes forward towards the spider, runs through the doorway, and the door closes in. The spider begins to climb down and then lunges out. The cleric is able to toss the potion. The knight drinks the potion and then pulls out his sword and stabs at the spider, but the spider pierces through the knight. The wizard shoots a bolt of magic, destructive, and glances off the spider's back. But the spider again continues its strike and attacks against the knight. The knight holds against the fight of the spider before shattering beneath the attack of the spider. The wizard shooting magic at the spider. The spider turns its attention to the spider. All throughout this, you are dodging as this display is happening before you, and the spider lunges forward. Aurelia, you almost have to dodge out of the way. It doesn't know of your presence, and it takes its tail spike and impales the wizard. The wizard shatters before the spider's sting. The cleric turns his attention, pulling out a mace, goes to swing at the spider, but the spider dodges either side and bites off the head of the cleric, and the cleric shatters. The spider turns to the party. I need you to roll initiative.
$19.
19 for Karan. Briar.
14.
14. Asher.
17.
Rowan. Cole.
19.
Dirty 20.
19. Dirty 20. Aurelia.
21.
21. First up, Aurelia.
Okay, I'm going to take out my daggers and I'm going to attack the Spidey.
Okay. You rush over to it with whatever little movement it takes in this little corridor, and roll your attack.
I have a question. Is anybody flanking it?
At this moment, it rushed the cleric. I don't think anybody was over there by the cleric.
I was. Because I was still...
You were over, and you said you wanted to be underneath the spider when it dropped.
So I wanted to be between. So where I was at the cleric, because the cleric. Oh no, the cleric's in the back next to the.
Cleric is in the back. Then you said you wanted to be close to the spider,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm right by the knight, whatever the knight is.
Not close enough. Nobody. I don't think anybody was by the cleric at that point. So there is no flanking.
So then the damage. Ooh, that was still good damage. We're good, folks. We're good. That's 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage.
And that Spidey has Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark.
On it.
Alrighty. Yep.
I'm gonna now bonus action disengage and dance out of melee range.
All right, Rowan, you're up.
I'm
Cole, you're on deck.
I am going to bonus action my boots of speed. Would you say with the preparing of the button being pressed, would Rowan have pulled out his swords? It's up to you if you would like allow that.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And I am going to charge at the spider. And then I'll roll with advantage. We'll roll with the flanking, which is +2. First one's going to be a trip attack, as per usual.
Alrighty.
So 19 and a 16, plus 19 plus 6, 25, and 22 to hit.
That is a 17 on the strength saving throw. And what was the lowest AC?
22.
All attacks hit then.
Okay. So it wasn't down, but it still gets the extra D8. Alright, so 4 plus 7, 11 plus 10, 21 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then that is 3 fire damage and 3 radiant damage done to the spider.
The fire damage is not as effective as you hoped. Radiant damage just fine. All right, moving on. Cole, unless that's it.
No, that's it for me. Yep.
Okay, Cole.
Cole is going to make 2 attacks and then do flurry of blows, so 4 attacks total. I'm gonna roll for all of them.
Sounds good. Karan, you're on deck.
We've got an 18, a 20, a 16, and a 12.
All but the 12 will hit. Right, 16 will not hit as well.
Okay.
So 18 and 20 will hit.
Got you. $24 points of damage.
24 points of damage. As you rush over and take your stabby stabs at the ice spider. Karan, you're next. It is now your turn. Asher, you're on deck.
How far away is it from me?
At this point, if you're at the entrance, it'd probably be close to 30 foot.
Closer to 30. Okay.
Yep.
So if I move 25 feet, will that put it within 10 feet then?
If you, yes.
Are you saying
feet,
it's 30 feet away from me?
It's
or?
about 30 foot away, yeah.
Okay, so then I will move 20 feet so that I'll be within attacking range of it.
Cool. Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and
I would say that
swing
you do get the impression that because of its size, it also has a 10-foot range, so you're not necessarily out of its range. Just so you know, yeah. with some of its attacks at least. Yeah.
That is a nat 20.
Hey, roll that damage.
That's going to be a lot of damage.
All right.
Because I'm going to pop a level 4 spell into this. And it's so I'm going to roll an extra die for each. Right? That's how we're doing crits? Yes. It's going to be... And is this thing undead or not?
Sorry, what were you saying? How we do crits?
Yeah, it's an extra die of damage for the damage that's dealt.
An extra full die of damage. Yeah, so it's the full
an extra
max
full
die of that. Yeah.
Oh, full max. I'm not rolling it. I'm actually just getting it.
Oh,
shit.
I thought it was full, and then we roll.
Let me look at that. Did we write that in house rules?
Let's double check. Make sure.
It's a full dice. So say
wait,
you roll
hold on.
2.
No.
Full die.
It's the max damage you could possibly do, and then you roll one more of those damage die. Yeah.
Yes. So
Gotcha. So you do a max
essentially-
plus a roll.
Plus a
Yeah,
roll.
so it's
Yep.
it's imagining if you were to roll the 2 dice, right? One's already maxed, always.
Perfect. What is this thing undead or not?
It is not.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to be using both smite and strike in this. So this is going to put it up to. So this, hang on a second. All right. So I also need to add this. All right. Now I roll. By the way, how damaged was this thing looking?
It just received 1 attack so far, or 2 attacks so far, so it's not terribly.
And then the D10. Uh, 28 of this is normal. The rest is radiant, I think. I have to double check. 97 damage.
97 damage, is that all?
That's it, yeah.
It's looking very hurt as you come down with a strike. It just shatters. Some bits of it break off as this glaive comes down. The radiant magic shock waves off of the carapace of this spider. Asher. It's your- you still have what?
I still have a bonus action technically.
Okay,
that was just the attack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back up the remaining 10 feet in my movement. Does it induce an opportunity attack?
It would, yes, because it does have that reach. Would you like to recant that?
Run within.
Again, like I said, you would be able to determine.
No, I still want to back
Okay.
up.
Yep, it's going to roll an attack.
Okay.
But you can address.
Are you within 5 feet of me, Karun? Did you come within 5 feet of Rowan?
I went straight from the door towards the spider. I just don't know if I'm within 5 feet of you.
I guess
That'd
it's a
be
question for Holson.
I would say probably close enough, yeah. If you're trying to, you walked up to it, so he would have been basically flanked behind you, and going for his glaive attack, yeah.
Mhm.
Sentinel attack, then.
Okay, go ahead and roll yours. It's a 24 to hit for his ice claw attack. So let me roll that damage for you, Karun. It's 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
10 points, that's going to be 5 points of cold damage, already halved.
Okay, so it's going to be 5. So it's going to be
it's gonna
16
5 points.
total.
Yep. 16 total damage.
So 16 damage.
Go ahead and roll your attack, Rowan.
21 to hit.
21 does hit. Go ahead.
That is max damage. That is 11 slashing, and then I'll roll my d4s. Not too bad with the radiant. 2 radiant damage.
2 radiant damage. It's looking very hurt. Asher, Now your turn? Question mark,
Okay.
right? Yes.
So with the detect magic up, does this thing have a magical like essence that's animating it?
Not necessarily nothing more than the, actually this one doesn't even have a crystal that is operating it, but no.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna bonus action wild shape into a cave bear and take 2 attacks at it. First being a bite attack.
Speaking of
14 plus 7, so 21 to hit.
21 does hit. Roll your attack or damage.
And then the bite is a I'm assuming 13 doesn't hit, so
13 does not.
okay. So just the bite is going to be 1d8. 12 damage, magical damage.
12 damage. As you bite into essentially the mouth of this spider, you bite directly in, disregarding its own teeth and everything, and crush down on its skull with your massive bare jaw, and its head shatters and the limbs fall limp. And with that, initiative is over. As you crush the skull of this ice spider, it shatters into just a dust of layering of snow over the surface of this chamber. From those circle pedestals, they fall down into the ground, close over. It's quiet for a moment. The door opens up. You see the dust and the Murdoch and the diggers kind of like reel from the sight of you and what they had just seen. The openings where the circles went down, the pedestals open back up, and from that, those same statues reform. From the opening above the door, those 2 stone slabs open, and from it, an ice spider claws its way out, and it assumes the position of the previous ice spider. Everything is reset in the room.
And the items are still there?
The items are still there.
Oh, my gut twisted. I'm like, oh, we just lost everything. Okay.
So much for not being greedy, but okay.
There's only one other logical option. It looks like it was yours, Cole. Unless there's another one someone's come up with in the meantime of that fight.
No.
The only puzzling part about all of this is how quickly the rest of the party members died. The barbarian knocking down the door. I don't know how that saves the other 3. Unless the barbarian is brought into the fight as well.
I think that's merely it. Is that what we picked, even if it seemed logical, the barbarian acted too quickly or something along those lines. So if he goes for the door, he doesn't get through, but he stays in the room.
Okay.
Cole will go over to the barbarian and turn it towards the door, and wait for the rest of the party members to turn the statues back to the same we had.
Everybody turning them as they were before. Knight
Yeah, just the
towards
barbarians
spider,
changing.
Wizard towards spider, cleric towards knight, barbarian towards door. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if this does not work, then are you saying pay more attention to what happens in this scene and then rotate them based off of where the attack goes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could
Alright.
be a initiative of the fight as well.
Right. Okay, we'll pay attention.
Wait. What did the wizard do again, or attempt to do?
He
The
casted
wizard- Go ahead, please. No, please.
He casted a destructive magic
Good.
at the spider.
So then, yes, that's the only logical one.
Unless
Not gonna.
he's there to help the barbarian break the door down, and the party to leave the room quicker.
So the spider came down. The fighter was healed. The fighter went to attack, and the spider killed the fighter.
The one with the shield didn't attack per se, but it took the blows until its guard faltered and it was destroyed. So we
Maybe-
need either a deal with the spider or deal with the door before the shieldman falls. He will not last
Okay.
nearly as long without being healed.
So first off, I think you just said spider a little bit with my accent, and I totally approve. Second, maybe
Spent a lot of time around you.
if this doesn't work, then maybe the wizard was attacking the spider on the shield guy to save the. Just a thought.
You had
Perhaps.
the wizard pointed at the spider, and he still attacked the spider, so it doesn't seem
Oh,
to be
okay.
like that, yeah.
Cool. Neat. Okay, then we'll just keep this.
Yep. Plan B.
This time, Asher, still in bear form, then is just gonna
Ooh.
prop up in front of Aurelia again to, like, just in case anything happens.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have my swords at the ready to rush that thing again.
I'll be in position to anticipate where it will be if we failed again.
Asher,
Close.
if the spider does drop again, can your detect magic detect if it is a animated, something that we could possibly dispel the magic and stop the fight completely?
He's just gonna
Awesome.
shake his head at you and kind of. I have no way to tell you that it's already been checked, but like,
Just shake that head. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm gonna pop a heal on myself too.
Press the button.
You press the button, and again you see each of the figures come to life. The barbarian slams into the door. The door shatters. The way opened. The door behind you closes. You see as the cleric tosses the potion, the knight catches it, downs it, holds the shield. The spider jumps down towards the knight, again clawing at him. But you see this time the knight figure is reeling backwards, seeing that the way is opened. The barbarian motions for them to come forward. The wizard shooting bolts of magic at the spider. The spider's trying to, this time, striking at the knight. You see some of his attacks land and miss. Some of them just kind of overshooting as the knight begins to regain his strength and stand up. He pulls out his sword and thrusts it. The spider reels from that. The wizard begins to move towards the entrance as well, shooting bolts of magic at the spider. The cleric, again, bolstering magic and healing the knight once again, holding out a hand, and essence of magic engulfs the knight. You see the knight hold up his shield even stronger and slash across and hack away at the crystal of the spider. The spider continues to pierce at him. They make their way to the entrance, the barbarian letting the cleric go. Then the wizard go through. You see as they enter that hallway, they shatter, but it's a delicate shattering as if they've made it to safety. The barbarian and the knight The knight holding the way looks at the barbarian. The barbarian nods at him. And the knight turns and heads down the hall, shatters the barbarian. The spider lunges forward. The barbarian with his hands crushes the skull of the spider, and the spider shatters. The barbarian yells at each of the party and then turns down the hall, breaks into dust. The door at the opposite end, the one that you came into this chamber from, lifts up. The way is now made open.
None of those items in the hallway.
Each of those items are fallen at the hallway. They are, yes.
Reminds me of a story with a snake this one time.
Going to be like Mickey Mouse over to the drowned items.
Yes, you were able to acquire each of the items.
Asher, I'm not carrying the shield. You are carrying the. Oh, wait, you're a fuzzy little bear, aren't you? Just like the super flowness.
Yeah, he's gonna drop back to human form and.
Oh, you are.
She's petting him, and he starts
Like
rubbing
that.
his beard.
That prior, that's a little much. I'll take the shield until we can get it identified, since
Nice work,
Murdoch
Cole.
and the diggers move forward and
Thank you.
admire the room. You know that they're down a few men as some of the other diggers have returned the gold up top. But after some time, you see some of the other ones tail behind and catch back up. They've replaced those current diggers. You make your way forward through this similar tunnel, the one where the wraith has struck time and time again. And
before we go in there and leave, be like, Murdoch, do you see any diamonds that are worth about 300 gold?
Nah, diamonds in this lot.
Worth a shot.
Do an insight check to see if he's lying.
Go ahead.
Dude, seriously. I agree. 1000%.
My insight is be a 25.
With the 25, you get an essence of like, we had a deal, so it's none of your business if we did, but it seems that he's being forthright that there were no diamonds in this lot.
Well, just if you happen to find any, we'd be willing to negotiate. They are vital for resurrection.
Got ya. He motions ahead, like, let's keep moving. Making your way through the next corridor.
Checking for traps.
Checking for traps.
That's a 24.
Seems safe.
Can I make a perception check? Because the hunter's mark lasts for an hour.
Yes.
If we're going off those stats, can I
Sure,
make a
sure.
perception check for our wraith buddy?
Sure.
You just know where it's at all times, I think.
Yeah, I think he's right. You know the location of it.
You get a sense that it is in the wall to your right.
Okay. All right, everyone. Our wraith friend is over in this direction.
Karan, go ahead and roll me a dex check. Basically an initiative check.
Oh, okay.
Well, with us knowing it's coming, can we ready in action to
Still an initiative. You don't know who it's going to come for.
Yeah. That is a 14.
14. Okay. Each of you is staying on edge, waiting for this entity to reveal itself. The moment it comes through the wall, you hear the fingers outstretched. Grun, it's you, my friend.
It's still entering my range.
It is entering
so
your range.
the reaction component
Yes,
on
yes.
its move. Okay.
Go ahead.
Swing.
Ooh, that's lovely. So that's a nat 20 on its attack.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead and roll yours.
I hit with it's an 18 was my reaction attack.
Hold on, let me do math. Pull up a good old calculator. And then we'll roll one more. Okay. Nice. Okay. What's your attack roll?
I was an 18.
An 18. That does hit. So we'll
Okay.
go ahead and roll your damage. If you would
All right.
like to take your damage, you can. Would you like to go ahead and just extract your damage currently?
I mean, I guess the only thing that I could hope for is maybe if what I'm about to do kills it before it actually hits me. But because I'm going to pop a level 2 spell to
Sure.
add to,
Yeah.
and
Go ahead.
this one, you said it took extra damage when it got
Yes,
hit.
with a radiant effect. Yes.
Radiant, anything that's affected gets an extra. So undead things get an extra D8 with the strike in the first place. So, 10, and it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 48. Alright, so
See if your attack
Alright, so
takes it out first.
that's 29, and it's going to be 19 of it radiant damage. No, sorry, no. 20 of it radiant damage.
Okay. It rushes forward. You swipe at it with your glaive, and it, as it reaches its hand out and drains some life from you. It's looking very hurt, though. You don't know how many more times it's going to try that, but you will take 30 points of necrotic damage. I critted, remember?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, roll a 20.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yep. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as well.
Okay. Oh, that again, nat 20. That's 23.
Nat 20. You are lucky. As it flows through to the other side.
With it leaving Asher's area, because Krun's right behind Asher, could Asher do us attack of
Roll
opportunity?
me an initiative, yeah. Basically an initiative roll.
Dex, so that's gonna be 13.
That will not be enough.
Damn. Okay.
Flows through to the left wall. This pesky little ghostling. You move forward to the next room.
I'm gonna heal myself.
Okay. Go ahead. Moving forward. This next room, as each of your light sources come closer, the room glistens with treasure. Gold and silver and rarely any bronze. Or copper, rather. And you see little trinkets and gems. An altar in the center. As you guys fill this room. Murdoch kind of rubs his hands together. All right, you lot. This is where our journey ends. I appreciate all you've done for us. We're going to take the lot of it, but for your service, as wasted as it'll be, he looks forward towards the next room. We'll split some of it with you. This is the main treasure hold.
Cole would stop if he starts to approach into the room and like pull his dagger out to kind of halt him, be like,
We need to check for traps. We need to make sure the room is clear before you start diving in and grabbing the loot.
Right. Do your thing.
Guidance.
I'm looking for words.
Looking for words on the door. It says, leave now or show patience and the way will open. On the altar within the center of the room, it says, take your treasures and leave now.
Okay. Leave now or show patience and the way will open, or take your treasures and leave now. So no one takes any treasures and wait for the way to open.
There is
Okay.
a button on this altar as well.
I got a 28 for investigation.
Looking around, there doesn't seem to be any kind of traps. Investigating, you see above the door, there is a few cylindrical, or not even cylindrical, just like discs. Each of them show 0, 0, 0, 0.
No traps of the non-magical variety that I can see.
Murdoch, would you give us some time in this room before you take anything?
Listen, we had a deal. I already said you can have some of it. 1,000 gold each. Any of the precious gems that you need, they're yours.
No.
You said, it says, take your treasure and leave.
Or?
Right?
Or?
Didn't say or. You didn't say that.
Yes, I literally just said. Or
It
show.
says we need to have patience for the next entrance to open.
Murdoch, if you do not have patience right now, you might not live long enough to enjoy the spoils of this tomb. So why don't you take a breath and let us work and do what you've asked us to do, and then you can take the treasures.
I don't want to be here when you open that door.
Oh,
What's on the
It
other
sucks.
what's
Why?
on the other side?
I told you. This is where I draw the line. The rest of that has no value for me. The treasure is right here.
The treasure will be here.
It's not
Give
going
it
nowhere.
time.
It's not going nowhere, Murdoch. We've at least helped
Do
you
what
make
you
it this
need to do.
far. Thank you.
He motions to some of the diggers and basically makes this hand gesture, and they start to take bags and bag up some of the treasure.
no.
We literally
Cole
just said no.
will go over and literally tap their hand with the other end of his spear to make them drop.
Just give us 20 minutes. We want to check something first.
All right, new deal. Don't. Because of this, you make
half of what we were going to allow for you to have. The fact that we're giving you anything at all is generous on our part.
We don't care about any of that.
Look at it. It's piles of gold.
We came here for the one thing that you said that would help us stop that volcano.
And
We
your
have yet to
thing
get it.
is behind that door. My thing, our thing, is in this room.
And
Is
you're
that
not
if
You're
we-
letting
not
us do that.
listening. You're not listening to logic, Murdoch. The one thing behind that door may help us keep the rest of the world turning and functioning. And if we can't get into the door because you've taken the treasure, then you will not be able to enjoy the treasure that you've taken from this tomb because you couldn't wait and have patience for a few minutes so we could get in and get this.
Yeah.
Roll persuasion.
$18.
All right. Drop it. Do what you need to do. But if I see any of you taking any of the treasure that did not belong to you,
Trust me, we're not here for your treasure.
Wait out in the hall.
We're here to save bigger things than the...
carry on then. Show your patience.
Sure. But I'm gonna be watching those guys like a hawk. I'm gonna... Actually, do me a favor, Murdoch. Why don't we all bunch together here?
Well, should they wait out in the hall in case something
No.
bad comes out?
Nah, we're not waiting out there.
Everybody
not
stay
if
right
that
here.
door shuts down, then we can't keep no eye on you.
Gonna gesture to everybody to come together. Away from the treasure, so we know that they're not taking nothing, and we can watch them. And they can watch us.
Cool is
Okay.
Cool is gonna go over by Karon and kind of think with him.
Patience will show the way.
Meditation.
There's multiple zeros above the door and a button in the middle. It's safe to assume that the button starts some sort of timer. Letting it hit 0 without touching anything or doing anything would open up the passage, but what happens when we press that 0? Does this room fill with water, sand, and we have to just trust that it will go away with the timer?
It's as it's being presented.
What's your
Don't know.
thoughts?
Well, there's obviously something aside from greed that is supposed to motivate a hasty decision here. But so far, everything that they have stated has held true. I don't think that they would lead us astray in saying if we have patience, we should see a result, even if that means water or spiders come pouring into this room. The question is can all of us be patient?
Is there like a space in this room for that looks like someone would sit down and meditate, or like chairs, anything like that? No.
When you get this much wealth in a room, men and women tend to grow fear. Because once you have everything that you've ever wanted in the palms of your hand, the fear of someone taking it away quickly approaches. So with greed, I can assume fear is next. We press the button. Who knows what's going to come into this room?
And as he looks at the miners and all of them,
But we need to be patient.
looks at Bree as she's like ready to press, kind of like nods.
Wait. If that door opens before we are out of here with all our treasure, You get none of it.
Okay, we never asked for it. Really not a big deal, dude.
Yeah, the diamonds were just a matter of, it's nice to be able to, bring people that can be resurrected back.
Yeah.
I'm real sorry, but you're kind of giving off small PP vibes right now, man.
Okay. Yeah, we're ready to move on.
on you anyway.
I'm gonna pull out my swords, readying for whatever
case.
may come out of the door, just in case.
Asher's just gonna sit down and just kind of close his eyes and meditate.
Hatuk. Praise.
As you press the button down, you see as the cylinders begin to grind and roll and scrape. Starting at 60. The one spins quickly and counts down. 59. 58. 57.
I'm just gonna be
Counts down
spinning my.
further. 45. You see as the diggers kind of shift and shuffle, like looking around, holding their pickaxes like at the ready, looking at the gold. Murdoch stands there unmoving. "30 seconds.
Was there?
Waiting the whole time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sets at 0 once again. The button resets. It's quiet for a moment. You see as each of those cylinders fall backwards into their inset, and the door begins to open. "All right, now." He motions to each of the diggers. They go and grab all of the treasure.
Shall we?
Okay, leave a princess.
Quickly, could Cole glide over to Aurelia and make an attempt to quietly whisper to her sight for any diamonds that match that 300 gold and possibility of sleight of hand to sneak a couple out into before we go into this fight. I can do a stealth check for it if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead.
$18.
Was that sleight of hand or stealth?
That was stealth just to talk to Aurelia.
Okay.
And then if she's in agreement, then I would like to do a sleight of hand too. Or a perception check, I'm imagining, to find them, and then sleight of hand to get them.
Yeah, sounds good with me.
Yep,
Okay.
go ahead.
His perception check to find a diamond or diamonds is 19.
Same.
With your 19s looking around, there's various gems amongst the gold You see another ice sculpture mannequin standing, and there's this dazzling robe that none of the diggers or Murdoch himself even seems to be paying attention to. Other various garments kind of draped around, but they're not necessarily going for those. They're just going for the hard treasure and trinkets such as that. This is the only one on an ice sculpture. Looking around with your 19, you glance at something within the pile that may perhaps be a diamond. Of its value, you're unsure.
Could we take the rope and in the same swoop grab the rope and reach down with our hands like in the rope and grab said diamond?
The robe or the rope? What are you saying?
Did you say rope? I thought you said robe.
There's robe around a robe over top of the old that ice sculpture. This majestic looking robe, yeah.
I have an idea. I'll cast. How tall is the statue? Like 5 feet?
It's just humanoid foot. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast like an illusion in front of it, so someone can slip behind it, like, and take off the robe. So I'll just make it look like it is. Someone can slip behind and disrobe.
Murdoch, watching the workers and watching you all rolled pretty high on his watching you, essentially. No ideas. Move along. Your way is that way.
We didn't even roll our stealth checks yet, though.
You rolled your initial. He's just watching the general, like, you guys, like, discussing what you're going to do, essentially. There is an area.
He's not accusing us. He's just being paranoid. Yeah, is what you're saying.
It's just like, you guys are lingering in this room when you said you were heading in there.
So be quick about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Cole would like nudge Aurelia and walk towards him, kind of cause a little bit of a distraction while Aurelia would go towards the diamond to sneak it out. Just a couple seconds is all we really need.
Yep.
Cool would be like,
he holds out his axe towards you. Nah. That way. All you lot.
I don't understand. We've been friendly with you this whole entire time. What's the hostility now?
What's the hostility? You're eyeing all this treasure that we made a fucking deal about.
None of us are eyeing the treasure.
None of you
Been
are
helping
eyeing
you
the
this-
treasure, nudging each other, giving each other's looks, whispering, "Get the fuck out of my town."
Would that have been enough seconds?
Yeah.
Sounds like enough seconds to me.
Roll stealth check.
Yeah, so I've got the minor illusion up. So you go behind that, you're okay.
24 for stealth.
Doing for stealth.
Fucker.
Actually rolled a 24.
Disadvantage
you!
if he's focusing on Cole.
What?
What's that?
No,
Disadvantage.
he's like, okay, he is aware of what's going on. You guys were very suspicious about it, like based on his initial roll of what's going on. We had a deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna mage hand it off. The illusion is there.
Roll a roll stealth as
Slide
well.
Okay. A 19.
With that, you are able to accomplish that. He rolled a 13, so he's focused more on Cole in front of him and Aurelia kind of sneaking off into the treasure over to there. As you remove this robe, the intricate, extravagant design that you see of this coat, suddenly, as it is removed from this ice sculpture, becomes this very plain looking studded leather armor. So now that it's in your hands, it just looks like a sack of leather, essentially.
always the fighters. Okay.
Murdoch, we're not trying to take your treasure. We're just looking for things to help keep us alive. To help keep you and your people alive.
Roll a. You're being honest, but you're also being deceitful because it is technically his treasure in his eyes. So roll a deception or persuasion check.
Dirty 20 for persuasion.
All right, it's getting a real bit hostile in here. All right, I understand you don't want our treasure, but you've been a good help, and with this, I'll be set for a while. We all will. Let's calm down. He points his axe at Cole. Scoops up a bag of coinage, some gems.
I'm gonna approach the conversation. If possible, then you can say no. We would like a couple diamonds. Those diamonds are used to keep us alive. If any of us goes down, we can bring ourselves back up for the fight to save the world. Will you allow us a couple of those? And you can pick them out. We're just looking.
Yep.
What's that?
Roll persuasion.
All right.
Go ahead and roll with advantage because Aurelius kind of already hinted at that.
Well, that's a good thing. Oh, I don't have anything to my persuasion. I rolled a 17.
17. I'll let you have a few.
Thank you. I'm gonna look to Aurelia, find some diamonds, and I'm
You were
gonna
able
start
to pick
looking
out
as well.
about 500 gold worth of diamonds.
How many? Just
Three
is
different
it-
diamonds. So it's one 300, and then two 100 gold diamonds.
Would I give those to Asher or Karan? Which one of you?
You can
would
split it.
like?
I
We
think
both have resurrect. We both have the ability to
I'll take
resurrect. So
2 of those if that's okay, Karan. The 300 to, and then you take the other 100 gold for whatever spell.
you said you're
finding
taking
those
the 300 and the 100 is what?
So I'll take one 300, the 300 and one. Take the other 100 because I believe you have spells that do use 100 gold diamonds, right?
No.
Oh,
There's no resurrections that use 100. The 300 is the minimum that we got.
okay. Then I do have spells that can use those, so
I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. Just make sure.
Oh, so we only have one for a resurrection or a.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, we only have. We have 1 2/3 revivifies specifically, and revivify is the lowest level diamond consuming spell that I have in my repertoire.
With that, I would like to go back to Murdoch and see about getting one that's another 300. I understand, but I want to see because
It doesn't have to be explicit. It's 300 gold worth of diamonds.
Worth.
It does not need to be a singular 300 gold piece gem.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so we have 1 2/3 more revivifies.
As
so
you
we
ask
profit.
about another diamond, he looks around, grabs a diamond, hands it to you. Another 100 gold worth of diamond. But
There
he
we go.
reaches into the sack and pulls out a heap of gold and throws it back into the pile. Now
That's
we're even.
cool.
And he hands you over the sack as well.
I'm gonna shake his hand.
I appreciate your service.
Get out of here safe. And I'm gonna turn my
Yeah.
back to him.
You too.
okay. So if that's the case, above table, myself has 300 gold worth. Karan has 300 gold worth. Should we divvy up the third revivify to somebody else in case
Are you talking about putting it in? I mean,
Like,
What
just
more
so it's
revivify is
separate.
there?
So Karan had originally one revivify diamond. Now we have 2 more. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
give me one and then put one in another hands of someone else in the party so they can
Why don't you
get it
take
to
that
one
too?
of us.
What level?
well,
What level was Revivify?
what
Third.
levels revivify is a third level?
Okay, well, if you hold on to it, then we can put it in Cool's.
Okay.
And you can have
Yeah.
a third person that can cast Revivify, technically. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So-
I probably would be.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Asher will just hold on to the diamonds then for now. And
Mm-hmm.
shall we?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Boss battle fight.
Boss battle fight. As they spend some time clearing out the rest of the gold and hiking it back up, you make your way through this last tunnel, a bit shorter than before, weary of the entity that comes through the walls. You make your way poised, ready to defend yourselves and strike if you can. But nothing happens as you make your way to this last chamber. This last chamber, a small few steps of stairs. Into this room. A tomb. Beds carved out into the sides of the room of iced, entombed soldiers. Strikes your attention as you enter the room along the left wall. A massive structure of bone. As you
Like
observe it
amalgamation.
closer, a skull. A massive skull. Size of a house. Plunged into its forehead, a crystal.
I don't think we should do much right now. If you would not mind, I would like to take the time to identify what we have before moving further. So should something be useful, you have time to attune.
Should we also try to identify the skull in that gem?
I am not touching that until I do our items and we are attuned.
We could also take a small rest to possibly get some of the strength back that we used against the crystal spires.
Okay. I'm going to identify.
Okay, for 10 minutes?
Each item would be 10 minutes.
10 minutes each. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got I'm gonna do one immovable rod, the necklace, the pearl, the shield, what are the other things, dude?
There's a ring. There's a
The
ring
ring?
from the barbarian.
The potion, so we know for sure what it is, and the leather that I just got.
So
That's-
an hour and 10 minutes.
10
And that
minutes.
is perfect for us to get a short rest for those who need it.
I can get my wild shape back.
I can get my key points back.
I'm
But-
going
Before
to
you do that,
attune-
before you
Okay.
go ahead and take that, midway through identifying, you identify the immovable rods. Are you doing one immovable rod is an immovable rod, but it requires attunement.
Mhm.
the other caveats are with that. Essentially, you have to be in contact with it for it to be active.
Okay.
What was next? Did you do this in a specific order? So that
Not in a specific order.
okay, is there anything you would like to do in order? Because I'm cutting you off halfway through this.
Okay. The sphere. The orb.
The little pearl thing.
Yeah.
It is a pearl of power.
Mm-hmm.
Shield.
What next?
The shield.
It is a pariah's shield.
Are these homebrew items or are these what magical
They
weapons?
exist.
Or
You can look them up.
We can look
They're
it up.
in beyond.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pearl of power and pariah's shield. Next.
The potion.
The potion is an exquisite healing potion. It is a supreme healing potion.
Okay.
Potion of supreme healing.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go through really quickly what magic items we have that she needs to identify so she knows which
So-
ones?
Lastly, you
red?
have the periapt, the ring, and then the cloak, or the cloak that turned into a studded leather armor.
Yep. Ring and then leather armor. Those are left. I'll put marks next to that so I remember next time when we have identified to do those.
So you have one more that you can identify to choose now, and then I'm pausing you for a second.
It'll be the ring.
The ring is Ring of the Ram.
Okay. Okay.
Throughout this time, taking your rest, you feel as the ground begins to tremble. The ice along the walls forms a crack. The pillars that stand two within the room to know architectural design. Just ice pillars that hold up the roof of this building. You feel the rumbling, and then once again, a rumbling off in the distance that echoes all the way from the entrance into the hall of this room. Some of the ice falls from the ceiling of this place. Assuming you continue your identification and short rest. Unless you would like to say anything or interrupt.
I think as Briar identifies each object, she'll just place the object towards who she think it should go to. So, like, I think she'll hold on to the Pearl of Power, and then the shield she'll push towards Asher. The healing she'll push towards Kiron. The ring, she'll just, like, I think just flick it towards anyone to catch. And then we'll do the leather robe, the leather armor for last.
The studded leather armor is glamored studded leather armor.
Okay.
I'll catch that ring.
You said it's studded glamour?
It's glamored studded leather armor, yeah. Everybody looking at the items.
I think we'll have to read and divvy this up.
That potion, Is that potion that Karun could technically make had the ingredients availed to him?
Like how to make it? Probably not necessarily. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's probably the
Supreme-
one thing that he would probably see to use would be to see if he could discern the recipe from it.
Not at this moment. Maybe, perhaps we'll have to talk about it later.
Okay.
Lastly, I believe that's the last item, right? Is the necklace?
Yeah, that was.
The
the
necklace
necklace,
is a periapt of wound closure.
I think that should go to one of the healers, so if they go down, they come back up.
Okay.
That requires attunement, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bree,
Mm.
those rods that you have, how
Yes.
many do you have
Two.
of them?
Do
And their ability is to.
they're to be immovable. And you like click it, and you have to be in contact with it.
Are you testing them right now?
Yes. I'll go do. Wait, no, I have to be attuned, so I can't play with it.
Okay.
Because I was gonna be like, do boop.
Does it stay in the air as long as you're touching?
As long as you're touching it. So if you like jumped up and you went boop, you would be booped there. You let go, you fall, it falls. I think.
From your recollection of how the original wielder of those used it, he was able to let go for a moment.
Okay.
Not you. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not there. That's why I'm like,
Yeah, no.
I don't know how
I'm
these
saying,
work.
So it was able to climb up, but then jump up, and then have his feet in contact with it, and then he stood on them when he was throwing like daggers and whatever, shrieking at you guys. So he did.
okay.
He did lose contact with them for a few seconds at least, or like a millisecond, if that. But
Okay, she'll.
so it's not like as
she'll
soon as you
explain.
let go, then it does. You don't know exactly how long, but
You probably have like a few seconds to be nimble.
May I try them?
Feel free. Gives you.
Okay. Are we able to attune to the items that need attunement, or
she
while we're
identified
taking that
those
short
first. So if you want to
rest?
say, you can go ahead and attune to them. That's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
They each require attunement, though. So
I think I've got the slots for this. Let me check there.
That necklace. If nobody would like that, I wouldn't mind taking that.
I can't wear it.
Okay. Oh yeah, you do go down quite a bit. Here you go.
And I'm
Let her put it around my neck.
personally, if you want this potion, it's probably better in your hands, or Aurelia, or honestly, Bree, even you, your maid Chan can get it out to people faster than I can.
I'll take the potion too. And kind of bounce it in my hand. I think Karun's right, Bree, and he's gonna give it to Bree.
Yeah, I
could probably
think
get
he's correct too. I mean, your necklace will do what it can, and then I try.
Yep.
looking around the room, there is another altar. Kind of a plaque in memoriam. Reading it, it says, "Here lies my child and his loyal guardians." assuming that the child is the giant, the giant skeleton.
This would imply that this place was built by the creator of these titans. Who could that be?
Who could tell?
Olsen, I will also use my last slot for attunement to Lymeal's blade.
Okay.
I can't toggle it for attunement, but I'm just letting you know that I will be attuning it from here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it won't let me for some reason.
Okay. To give you an idea of what you're looking at in this room, let me... For a frame of reference of exactly how big this guy is. If you look on the stream, you'll be able to see it now.
It's a big boy.
It's a big boy.
That is a cool presentation.
And with
That's
that,
awesome, man.
we will get to that next episode as you decide what to do from here. See that little crystal there, right there in your skull. All right, guys. Got yourself some magic items, made it through the little dungeon. You know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to say, Sorcerer, thank you for following 2 hours ago. Fraley17, thank you for following. I saw you join the Discord. I'm going to attack you here soon. And Gaming at 30, thank you for following 39 minutes ago. Hope you guys, if you stuck around, have enjoyed thus far. I hope you had a good time. Next episode is the last of the main Legends of Aelos campaign for a while. After that, we will be going to the Zahath campaign. We'll see right after the death of King Varth. We'll see what happens after that up until this point. So we'll have coinciding timeline, the same timeline played out from those episodes ago. But over in the Zahath world, we'll have a new cast of awesome peoples participating in that for a short stint. I say short, but it's like around 2 months of sessions. So excited for that. Some of our players are going on vacations and work things, so we're taking a break from that. Don't forget you can show us love by donating. So after, when we come back, we'll have several sessions, and one of those will be a live in-person session that we're trying to coordinate. So don't forget that you can help with by making this bar a lot fuller and give us money.
Olsen, I don't mean to interrupt you, but we just checked it out, and Alex donated another $100.
What the? I'm just. Thank you for that. Wow, I see it now that it moved. Wow, thank you. That's neat. Thank you. Yes. So thanks for that. We're getting closer. It's happening. It's going to happen. And yeah, so next episode we'll come back to that. Don't forget candles. Get yourself some gaming Wiccan Skull gaming candles. Minis. Get yourself some Hero Forge minis. Discord to join the Discord and come hang out with us. It's a jolly good time over there. And !IRL, as you see there, is to bring the cast together if you would like to, if you are of mind to do that. But in the meantime, until next week, the last week, guys, what's gonna happen this finale?
Hopefully,
I don't want to go on a break.
I don't want to go on break. I know, but we have to. So yeah, next is episode 50. 50! Wow. And then yeah, we'll take a good break. The other campaign's going to be amazing though, so definitely tune in for those. It's going to be woo! I got stuff in store for that. I get to show what is happening over in Zahath. So appreciate you guys. Stick around. We're going to show somebody some love. So exclamation point raid, right? That's the thing, right? And then it shows you what you can copy and paste. If you're subscribed, you get those little emotes and you send them to the next person in the line. But until then, stick around, show them some love, give them some legendary raid, and goodbye, everybody. See you next time. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.